Hi there, I'm Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my colleague Ayman Khan. And unfortunately, we have to be the bearers today of bad news. Tyson Fury has reportedly been cut severely in his sparring session today out in Riyadh. And the undisputed fight that we've waited so long for, sorry to rub it in, with Oleksandr Usyk has been postponed. I'm not sure who originally broke the news, but the oldest tweet I can find about it is from Chris Mannix, who heard from Usyk's manager, Egis Klimas himself. So it does seem to be a verified report at this stage. Ayman, initial reaction to the news?
Yeah, delighted to be joined by you, Danny, but I'm not delighted by this news at all. There was kind of the small feeling that, we hadn't heard too much from the Fury camp. We hadn't heard too much at all. But then the promos came the other day, so maybe it started ramping up into the big push for the undisputed fight. But because there wasn't too much beforehand, what was going on? Now something has happened. Now something has leaked. When it happened, we're not sure. What happened, we're not too sure. But the outcome is that the undisputed fight isn't happening on the original due date. It's now happening hopefully later on in the year, waiting for a date there. But there will be the cynics, the cynical thinkers who say maybe this was something that had happened beforehand. There were rumors and whispers that were going on regarding Tyson Fury's status in his training camp, that it wasn't going so well. Must stress that they were just rumors and innuendo. But when these sort of things happen, and how quickly this all came about with this announcement and the postponement, people will start to question and wonder what actually happened here. So I'm very, very interested to hear what everyone thinks in the comments. So if you haven't already, click the like button, subscribe. Make sure you get those comments and we'll read them too. Danny, I'll hand it back to you, but I am wasn't expecting to be waking up to this announcement at all.
Yeah, I mean, the comments coming through on the live chat at the moment, please do keep them coming. Pretty predictable, I think. A lot of knew it's, not surprised, and thought this was going to happen. Obviously, laying the blame at Fury's door. I say obviously because, as Ayman alluded to just now, there's been a lot of contention and discussion, speculation about what's going on in the Tyson Fury training camp. Originally, I think this was kicked off by Big John Fury way before he was picking fights with the Cobra Cole Froch. Was talking about the concerns he had about Fury's camp based on what went on in the Ngannou fight. And since then, we've obviously had those rumours of Jai Opetaia. He left the Fury camp after a short space of time, very few rounds. And while everyone in the camp insisted that was because he needed orthodox sparring for his rematch with Maris Bridis, and there wasn't a lot of orthodox sparring going spare in the Tyson Fury camp because he was preparing for a southpaw in Usyk. Other people speculated that he was Fury getting manhandled in sparring, that was the words, and had been dropped by one, possibly two sparring partners, including Opetaia. And while none of that has been confirmed, now that this fight has been called off, specifically after a sparring session in which Fury got cut, yeah, I mean, it kind of lends more smoke to the fire, or more fuel to the fire, sorry. Oh, someone's just accused me of sucking off Fury. I can guarantee that's not what led to his injury. Andrew, thanks for that, Andrew. At least put your surname if you're going to be so horrible. Yes, I'm not praising Fury. I'm just laying down the timeline of events, if you like. And yeah, it appears now that the fight will be postponed. We haven't had a new date yet, but if it's a serious injury, and I'll just read Chris Mannix's tweet to you guys. Very brief, but he says, Tyson Fury has suffered a cut in training and is out of the undisputed heavyweight title fight with Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk's manager, Egis Klimas, told SI Now. I'll just go to Mike Coppinger's tweet because I believe he had some specifics on the cut in terms of the amount of stitches that Fury had to get and what this would mean. Just bear with me a second. Oh, there's a statement from Tyson Fury that Cop's got here. He says, I'm absolutely devastated. I'm not going to do the voice. It's not really the time or the place. I'm absolutely devastated after preparing for this fight for so long and being in such superb condition. I feel bad for everyone involved in this huge event, and I will work diligently towards the rescheduled date once the eye has healed. I can only apologise to everyone affected, including my own team. Team Usyk, the undercard fighters, partners and fans, as well as our hosts and my friends in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, I can imagine the mood that's going to be met with, that statement, but, let's see how it all pans out. I think Fury, there's a picture that Mike Coppinger shared. I think if I send this to our producer, Modfather Frank, he might be able to put it up for you guys. It's on the Queensbury Promotions Instagram, but Coppinger's done it there. So if I share it with Frank, we should be able to get it up on screen. It does look like a pretty nasty cut above the right eye of Tyson Fury. Yeah, not great. Definitely seems real to me. Someone in the background blurred out in the picture looking particularly concerned. But yeah, let's wait and see. Ayman, yeah, have you seen any of this? Have you seen the picture of how bad that cut looks?
Yeah, and whilst you were talking there, Danny, I had a little cross-reference of the cut in the Wallen fight to the cut of this fight, just to see if they're similar at all, or even the same cut that's reopened. And it looks like they're very similar, but they are different cuts. The Wallen cut is a little bit higher above the eye. This more recent one being lower below the eyebrow, sorry, I should say, as opposed to the eye. Yeah, a lower below the eyebrow. So two different cuts, but the same cut, the same area to Tyson, which going into the undisputed fight, that's got to be a big worry now. In recent years, I know that the one fight was quite a while ago, but still, in recent years, to have this cut now reopened again around that similar area heading into an undisputed fight, when you've got such an accurate puncher as Oleksandr Usyk is, you've got to worry that if that isn't fully healed properly, you don't want to rush returning from that type of cut. That's got to be healed. That can't be something that you can have as a weakness heading into the fight. Fury won't want that to be the case. And as the statement says, that they're waiting for medical prognosis as to how long that will heal, that will increase further the delay on when the undisputed fight actually happens as well too. And then again, if they want to do the fight during the next Riyadh season, will they wait for then? Will this be outside of the Riyadh season calendar? What will be the status of that? So very much everything up in the air. And we've also can't remember as well what Usyk's status is. He's not injured right now. He's still available to fight. It seems like, according to the reports, that Usyk might be taking on Filip Hrgović. So Filip Hrgović will step up into the mantle for that fight. Still a good fight. Not the fight we were expecting, but one that Filip Hrgović will grasp with both hands now that Fury departs the scene for the moment.
And I've just put the picture of Fury's nasty cut above that eye in our group chat. So Modfather Frank presumably will be putting it up quite soon. But it doesn't seem to, or news of us putting that up soon, doesn't seem to have assuaged the doubters in the live chat. Fury Greedy Belly, maybe shouldn't be a surprise that he's a Fury detractor with that username, says Fury cut looks photoshopped. Eric Kendrick says Fury cut himself. Usyk will cut his eye and say, let's get it on. I'm not sure he would. Where else? J.E. Prodigal Son says Fury was also dropped when sparring AJ. That's why he's run from AJ for 10 years. Anthony Joshua gets blamed for everything. Did you do a bit like the massive gash that Ngannou gave him? Not. Someone else saying Fury's overrated. So I'm going to go down to the end because we're getting loads of these. Ben Martin says, how's you got cut? No way. You're intensive sparring 15 days out. I don't think that's uncommon, to be honest. You usually have your last spar of camp around 9-10 days before the fight. I'd say it'd still be pretty sharp, pretty intense sparring, 2 weeks out. Might have been his last proper hard spar of the camp. I'm not saying, people aren't right to be a little bit suspicious and to speculate because of everything that's been said in the build up to this moment. But, we have to, I think, give him the benefit of the doubt. There's, picture evidence there. Apparently Queensbury have put out a statement, so I'll have a look at that. But Ayman, if you want to, just talk about the picture, obviously, and can you understand why people are skeptical about Fury's injury?
I can absolutely understand why people are skeptical of the injury in an age where sometimes we have injuries in the sport as well, and for some fighters they feel the need to post evidence, which we seem to have here from Tyson Fury, but other fighters don't. And when you have a fight of the magnitude that people have been waiting for, where there has been some quiet for a while, it did ramp up quite recently, though. I can understand why people maybe think, maybe they found a reason to, maybe they found a way to get out, maybe because of the rumors that we've been hearing that this was coming, and the rumors were sort of like a soft launch into what was the eventual announcement. You can kind of put the pieces together for the story to create the feeling that this might not be what we're seeing on the face of it. Me personally, I'm not that type of person. I'm not inclined to. I'll take this on face value, and I'll take the honest side of it and say that it looks to me, as I can see, two different cuts. So I can't comment as to whether this is a manufactured cut, this is a way out for Fury or not. I can't say it is. I wouldn't think it was, especially with the amount of money on the line, especially with the amount of you. There's a saying that the kids say these days: you don't want to fumble the bag. To manufacture your own cut in this day and age is fumbling the bag. You wouldn't want to do that when it's so apparent, when it's so out there. People might say that's because of the preparations in the camp, and you can get that sort of reasoning. But I myself aren't inclined to think that way. I think this is an honest situation. I think Fury has got to take the time to recover. I think we'll see the undisputed fight. I just don't know when. I hope it's for the end of the year. I wonder if the fans feel that in the chat right now, the people commenting feel that we still will get there. Is there confidence in the fans right now that we do get that undisputed fight? Then moving forward to the current situation, what of Fury? What does it mean for? You think that Fury would hold the favor with the WBC, so that nothing would happen on that part. But with Filip Hrgović in the picture, that kind of adds a different dynamic as to Filip Hrgović, good fighter. You'd favor Usyk in the fight most definitely against Hrgović. I mean, will Hrgović even want to take that with such short notice? How ready has he been on standby? I do know of one fighter specifically that has been called in on standby for heavyweight fights. Either it was for, I don't want to mistake myself, so I'll just encompass this as wide as I can. It was either for this card specifically, in fact, I'll say it this way: across the Saudi Arabian cards, there've been a couple of stand-in fighters for across the heavyweight fights. One of them specifically being Alen Babic. Alen Babic was a fighter who said, "If anything happens, you come in now." And I don't think it was at this top level, but that says to me that the Saudis had plans and had ideas to have people in the ready for the eventuality that this might happen, or the possibility that this might happen. So how long has Filip Hrgović been waiting for? Filip Hrgović actually, indeed, to be fair as well, did reach out to his team to try and get an interview with him a while back. Got met with cold air for now, but maybe they'd heard something. Maybe they knew that they were on standby as well too and didn't want to say too much, but they're getting the opportunity right now. I wonder what Anthony Joshua thinks about the situation. Francis Ngannou as well too, who was able to topple Fury down to the canvas in the last fight. All up in the air right now. All very interesting, Danny.
I'll read the Queensberry statement in just a moment. The bottom part of it is Fury's one, but as I've never said in my life before, prepare yourself because it's a long one. WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury has been forced to postpone his fight with unified champion Oleksandr Usyk after sustaining a freak cut during a sparring session in Riyadh. Now, I've seen some people talking about the lack of a head guard because of the placement of the cut. Fury very rarely wears head guards. When I've seen him spar in the past, and we're talking a while ago now, I don't think I've ever seen him spar in a head guard. I know there's probably pictures out there where he has. I think it's probably optional at this point. Maybe feels more comfortable without one. But if indeed he went into a spar so close to the fight without a head guard, then yeah, it's pretty irresponsible, you would suggest. The cut, which opened above Fury's right eye, required urgent medical attention and significant stitching. I think Mike Coppinger reported 16 stitches. And will obviously require a period of recovery, scuppering any possibility of the fight with Usyk taking place on 17th of February in Saudi Arabia. A spokesperson said, whilst this is still breaking news, it's clearly a massive disappointment after the work that has been done by so many people to finally deliver this historic event to the world. Once the doctors have appraised Tyson's eye, we will have a better idea of the period of recovery needed. Once known, we will work diligently with all the stakeholders and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to reschedule this fight as soon as possible and will, of course, keep everyone updated with developments. So, yeah, it's kind of what you would expect, I suppose. But the flip side of that is, you know, as soon as humanly possible, if he's got such a bad cut that's 16 stitches, how long until he can even spar again? You know, he can obviously do a bit of punching and stuff like that, and he can do his fitness work. But he won't be able to spar for quite a long time, you would imagine, depending on how deep that cut was and how long it takes to heal. I think we're probably looking at, you know, early summer at best. Let me just go through some of these chats, although they're going so fast, I can barely keep track of them. Joan Harmon, I said, we need a video of how and when he sustained this cut. I don't think we're going to get a video unless they typically record all the spars. Ryan Wilson, see you all in October for opening of Riyadh season 2024. Let's not be
Danny, there is a video.
Oh, there is video.
There is a video, yeah. Just put it in the chat there. We'll see if we can clip it on. I'm not too sure what the status is about. Just trying to find the source of it too. But there is a video. I'll put it in the chat if you want to have a quick look, Danny.
Okay. All right. Let me just Has it come up?
It's on our Rendezvous live chat.
Oh, okay. Let me have a look. But yeah, fill time. I'm just looking at this clip now. It's No Smoke Boxing on X. Ayman, fill time.
Not a problem. Whilst Danny's analysing the video there, I was just on mute, so I'll get through to some of the chats.
He is wearing a head guard.
Sure.
It's not full face, but more or less. It's a good shot as well. Shouldn't be taking shots like that. And not only that, he's taken that shot in the clinch, which was supposed to be a big advantage for him going into the Usyk fight. But I'm getting distracted now. Yeah, I mean, looking at where the cut is, and because it's not a full face head guard, but it is, you know, there is quite a lot of coverage there. I'd also say the head guard doesn't look particularly well fitting from this clip as well. It looks a bit loose. It looks like it's moving around a bit. But yeah, it looks like he's caught him just under the upper rim of the head guard. And it's a cracking shot. I mean, you see Fury's head snap to the left when he gets caught above the right eye. I'm not sure who it is he's sparring in the picture, Ayman, in the video, Ayman. Do you know who it is from the kind of grainy footage?
I tried to discern it as well, but I couldn't either.
It looks like a cruiserweight, I would say. I don't think it's a heavyweight, looking at the tall, lean person. But yeah, hard to tell. Looks a bit bewildered after Fury. But Fury immediately after taking the shot starts dabbing at the cut. But let me see. Can I put this in our live chat? Because then people can have a look at it. Obviously, open it in a new window. Don't leave us. But yeah, I've just put that in the live chat there, guys. So if you want to have a look, you can tell he immediately starts dabbing at his eye with the glove. And I think he knows, even in those early moments, that it's a serious cut. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people say. Now, there is video out there. We know he was wearing a head guard as well, which was something a lot of people were bringing up. So it'd be interesting to see what people say.
That opens up the honesty factor of it all for people who are cynical and thinking that this isn't the case. For Fury to release or allow to leak footage of him sparring and him getting cracked with such a shot heading into the fight, you know, showing opportunities for Usyk to attack there for being the smaller man, that kind of shows and opens up the truth side of this story, that being a legitimate cut, not one cause, not one manufactured by the own camp, regardless of how well the camp did, good or for bad. This kind of proves for me, cements the fact that this is a true on the face story.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, they're obviously well aware at Queensbury and at Gold Star, who handle Tyson Fury, that, you know, there is a healthy or more unhealthy, perhaps, amount of skepticism out there regarding Fury. And there were a lot of prognosticators who said they expected him to pull out of this fight, and they couldn't believe it when it was signed and a date and venue were announced. And yeah, it's kind of proved them right, albeit maybe inadvertently. DigiDo says Froch was right about Fury's resume. Shane Murray's absolutely gutted. GRSI says Fury's unprepared. Do you know what it is? Said, until I hear it from the horse's mouth, shrug shoulders. Which horse are you referring to? I mean, Tyson Fury's put out a statement. We've seen him on video getting cut. I'm not sure what more you need from this particular horse. But yeah, I mean, that was a crap. I can't believe he took a shot that hard and that clean in a clinch. Because for Tyson Fury, he's known to be a bit of a master of the clinch. But also potentially an ill-fitting head guard and not a full-face head guard so close to the fight. People will complain about that. But I think this puts to rest any suggestion that he cut himself or he sliced himself open with a razor. I was seeing that on the live chat earlier. I think we can put that to bed. But I think what we really need to know is who calls the cut. And I'm sure that person, whoever it is, will be much in demand for interviews over the next couple of days. But Ayman, now you've seen the video clip, has your initial kind of view changed? Obviously, it's still overwhelming disappointment, but in terms of the veracity of Fury's statement.
Disappointment, sure. Understanding more so. I'm not someone. I can be critically minded, and I will look to, you know, beyond just the surface level of the statements of the words as to whether there's truth in them or not. But I take them on face value, and I believe the story what it is. But this further cements for me the truth to the story that Tyson Fury was legitimately cut and didn't want to pull out the opportunity of the undisputed fight, the money as well too, and the glory, the fame, the legacy. He didn't want to find a way out was the cause of it. But then Jai Patai leaving the camp as well too. I want to kind of know the surroundings around that, how good Fury's camp was heading into this. I was just trying to have a look at who. I know there was a list of names that were mentioned of Fury's sparring partners and Usyk's sparring partners. I was just searching that again. I was trying to find that. I couldn't find that to hand right there and then, because that would narrow down the list of who was there in the camp. We can obviously minus out that it wasn't Jai Patai in that moment there.
Someone said Otto Wallin. It's definitely not Otto Wallin.
No, it's too lean for Otto Wallin, yeah.
But someone, Ramoni Mode XD said he thinks it was an elbow. So I'm just going to look at this again when he gets caught with the shot.
I was looking at that as well, whether it might be an elbow or not. Tell me what you think, Danny.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can zoom in a bit. I don't know. No, because it seems like he tucks it. It's like an arcing left hook that drops down after he lands it. So it looks like the elbow goes under his chin. Doesn't goes through into the face. No, because the elbow goes straight down to cover his body after landing the shot. So I'm not sure about that. But then you can see them going in before Fury of the clinch after he lands the shot. You can see them kind of their heads coming up close. But obviously with the head guards on, that shouldn't cause any issues. Yeah, it's hard to say. When they freeze frame it, it looks like his elbow does curve around, but then it goes down. So I don't know. Either way, devastating news. Sorry, I'm just going to go back onto the chat. I hope Fury chins his sparring partner for going too hard. What the fuck? I mean, if you're not wearing a full face head guard and you haven't told your sparring partner to go easy, you know, I don't know how much you can put blame on the sparring partner, albeit he may have cost everyone a lot of money. Bear Britain Audit says, defo a punch, but did look like an elbow. He did the wrestling cut, what I learned in WWE, says Messi Lingard. Yeah, I didn't see any, what do they call him, a gig, a little tiny razor blade inside his hand or tucked into his trunk. So I'm not sure it is the wrestling style. Fury again, laughing emoji. Someone saying, love you, Dad. I mean, it's not my kid. Ayman, have you got a kid who goes by Hello Cookies?
I don't know what that's about.
I know, someone called Neil. Okay. Well, Neil's not here, little one. go back to bed or wherever you are. Go back to TV. Opatai would be a good step in after the rumours. Similar size to Usyk, and I'm sure he would step up weight for this fight, says Celtic Druid 389. I don't think there's any chance of Usyk still fighting on that February the 17th date. Knowing you've got undisputed, hopefully still likely to happen, not once, but probably twice, maybe not for all the belts the second time. You're not going to risk it against any sort of test, are you? Now, Usyk may want to keep busy, I don't know, but if he does, I wouldn't expect it to be anyone of Opatai's level. Jack says it's possible that it was Kevin Lorena.
Yeah, there's another name here, Danny. Alexis Barriere, not one I'm familiar with. Doesn't look like Kevin Lorena specifically from what I remember of seeing Lorena at the Wembley event, but maybe Alexis Barriere might be one. I'll have a quick look at him.
Barriere, who nearly put Fury on his derriere. Mike H says, happens, fighters get cut. You can see in his face on the picture how slim he was. No doctor would allow him to fight with that cut. Oh, he means Fury was looking slim. Yeah, I mean, he didn't look in terrible shape, to be fair. No, obviously, he wouldn't be allowed to fight with a cut that bad. I think people are disputing how the cut occurred rather than is it a cut bad enough to preclude a fight. Hello Cookies are now asking, is Dad Neil to do them a cup of tea? So we're glad you can use this forum, Hello Cookies, to bond with your father. Increase the peace, says Fury will destroy Usyk when they fight. Yeah, I think what we're more worried about as fans is when that fight will now be. Marky YBR, no, B, yeah. Marky B, yeah, says, what a surprise. Knew it wouldn't happen. Said it from the start. You're not the only one there, Marky, to be fair. I think a lot of people said that, but maybe you guys just got lucky. We're not sure, are we? GSM, does anyone have the video? I'm going to put it in the chat again. No Smoke Boxing is going to be getting a lot of followers and views from this live chat, so they can thank us later.
Danny, it's an elbow. I think it's an elbow.
Yeah?
I think it's an elbow.
I need to see it even slower than it is.
It looked like an elbow to me when I just saw it. Let me rewind that back again.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's the point of contact. It's hard to tell whether it's the elbow on a... But when they freeze it, it does look like it's the elbow that catches him on the follow-through.
That looks like a clear elbow to me.
He's done well to catch him with that, with a head guard on, though, hasn't he? The cut was when the sparring started, period. If you think this wasn't planned, I have a bridge to sell you, says Cole Young. Where is this bridge, Cole Young? Says it's a punch. S1, that's not even Fury's fault. What the hell, headgear and all. How well-fitting was the headgear? You know, and it wasn't full face. But I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate, really, there. You know, these things happen. We see these things happen in sparring all the time, last-minute injuries. I think because of Fury's history and the amount of skepticism surrounding him, that makes it a lot more of an issue now. But I think there's also the case that we've seen Fury before just simply say he's not in a good position to fight mentally. So he's not someone who fears the public recriminations for pulling out of a fight without specific injury-related reasons. So I'm not sure he'd go to the trouble of, you know, faking an injury, which is what people seem to be suggesting. Or, yeah, Francis Hennigan done on purpose. Yeah, change mind now. Footage is available, says MJ. So there you go, changing one mind at a time. Where's Dave Allen when you need him, says B8. He was filming it. No, I'm joking. no evidence for that. Herman Lonnie, we told you guys, Fury is scared. Always been. Usyk would have defeated him. The elbow doesn't even land where the coat is. Elbow lands on chin. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Cut is photoshopped and fake. I'm not going to go along with that bit. Buzz Loon says, why is he sparring with someone who looks like a jiu-jitsu fighter in the first place? I just really have my suspicion hat about this. Fury is really crafty and not many people realise it. Hell of a left hook for a jiu-jitsu fighter, although maybe he was going for one of those chopping elbows. We've got a super chat from Kayvon Green in the US. Thank you for your $4.99. He says he's trying to overcook Usyk. Porter called it. Everyone knows the score. He cut himself. Well, yeah, I mean, there's no evidence of that, of course, but we shall see. Hergovich is in talks to fight Usyk on February 17th, says Dylan Kraft. Ayman, perhaps you could do some quick Twitter research on that and see if that's the case.
Yep, have a quick look.
See if that's been reported. Notion in the building from Puerto Rico. Thank you, Notion PR. Have you got anything to add to the topic at hand?
There is another little extra couple of sentences from Tyson Fury. He's put out on his Instagram, accompanied with a picture of him in the mirror doing a mirror selfie. Very still 2024 mirror selfies. Can't help getting injured in sparring, but what I can say was Usyk was in trouble. I'm in fantastic shape, showing his shape there, and he does look like he was in very good shape. I'll reschedule soon as I can. 2024, a massive year for Team GK. Hashtag undisputed. Hashtag WBC King. Well, yeah. Speaking with hashtags, I mean, if Hergovich is likely to come in, that would be amazing, but I'm not sure it's going to happen, is it? DM2 says, could the head guard cause the cut? Possible. Well, if it's a really old head guard and it's kind of frayed, then yeah, possibly it could have like slipped along. But more likely is that it was a punch or an elbow, because it is a slashing shot as well. Looking at the video, you know, he is chopping down with it. Human Lonnie, yeah, always going to pull out. Usyk would destroy Fury. Similar vein to his first one. Bullseye strength. I'm sure Fury was thrilled with the accidental cut in inverted commas, air quotes. Marcus Stewart, probably not the former footballer, says Fury Chisora 4 announced for August soon. I've just spoke to Alex Krasuk, the promoter of Oleksandr Usyk, and asked him if he wanted to join our live chat, and now he has disappeared from WhatsApp, hopefully only temporarily. But yeah, I asked him if it was all true. He gave back a shrug emoji, so maybe he has his doubts. But yeah, I don't want to speak for him. We wanted to get him on the live, but I can understand him probably not wanting to do it yet. Marky B, yeah, says, who's the sparring partner that started it? We don't know yet who that particular sparring partner was. Ayman found a name of who we thought it might be, Berriere. But a lot of other people we know in Fury's camp don't really fit the mold of what that guy looks like. Dylan Kraft follows up. Hergovich is the mandatory. He's in talks to fight Usyk on February the 17th. We'll make the second undisputed fight. Will still be for all the titles as the mandatory is out the way. I suppose that makes sense. I mean, if you were Hergovich, you'd ask for absolute Fort Knox worth of money, wouldn't you? You know, you've got him over a barrel. You can kill two birds with one stone, as Dylan Kraft mentioned there. Ed says, please interview him. Interview who? Fury or Krasuk or who? I mean, I'm trying to get Krasuk. Fury won't come on here. Not anytime soon, anyway. I imagine if Fury's going to issue a statement, like a video thing or anything like that, it'll be via his own social media first and foremost. Robin De Niro, Fury may retire before the fight now. That was something that came into my mind when Ayman first told me the news. That, you know, with
Fury's talked about retiring a number of times in the past. This is another injury / cut at this stage of his career. Could he just walk away? But there's so much money on offer for those 2 fights. It's hard to see him walking away at this point. And maybe, as someone said earlier, the guy who very generously gave us the super chat, maybe he's trying to kind of age Usyk out, if you like. Although, you know, they're a similar age. I think maybe he thinks the longer he leaves it, especially if Usyk's inactive, maybe that helps him. That's if it is orchestrated, which I don't believe. VS and Beats says, this is orchestrated. They needed to make it convincing. Tyson always lies. Digido says that's the makeup guy behind Fury. John Fury rang him up to cancel it, says Junior Jones 79. So, yeah, I think it's fair to say there's a lot of skepticism still out there. I don't think Alex Krasik is going to join us, at least not now. He might do in future. Maybe we'll get him on Zoom a bit later on tonight. I'll certainly keep pursuing it. But I think we're kind of rounding off here. I think people are going to want to go away and check out all the news for themselves. And but Ayman, what are your kind of concluding thoughts on this?
The concluding thoughts are just very upset as a boxing fan to not be getting the fight as was scheduled February 17th. I was thinking, like, as I woke up today, that is rolling around very quickly, just over 2 weeks away now. So to be waking up to be not getting it, sort of like a reverse Christmas present that's come late in the post, taking something away from us. I'm confident that the fight does happen with the people that are wanting the fight to happen. I'm sure that we'll still be pushing for that fight to happen just later on this year. I don't know what really kind of else I can kind of say in terms of what. There's a lot kind of really to mull over and plan for this February 17th date, whether it goes ahead or not, to be honest with you.
Do you know what we need? Do you know what we need before we go? A quick snap poll, a quick 10-minute poll. So we'll go to 7 o'clock UK time. Modfather Frank, if you're listening, please can you put up a poll? Do you think Fury's injury is genuine? Yes, no.
I think a lot of people now will probably be voting for yes, having seen this. Or maybe we do have fans who are ardent skeptics still after seeing the footage as well too. I think because of how quickly as well this has all come out as well too does kind of lend to it being all above board as well too. But yeah, just a kind of disappointing situation. One that leaves the opportunity for someone else to potentially come in. One that means that, look, if I guess if Oleksandr Usyk does take on Filip Hrgović and gets the victory, not a gimme by any means, but he would be the favorite in that fight. That would then clear up the potential for the first fight of Fury and Usyk to be for undisputed, and then the second fight to be undisputed as well too, unless other mandatories are called. But the IBF are a lot more stringent. Maybe the other boxing, the sanctioning belts might be a bit more lenient in terms of allowing for the second fight to be undisputed as well, and no more mandatories to be put in place there. Other fighters like a Zhang or whatever it may be, who hold statuses, might be more inclined to step aside to allow for the second fight, the rematch, to be for undisputed. There was the worry that the IBF were going to pull away their belt from their second fight rematch if there was to be one. So that might clear up the picture so that we do get 2 undisputed fights as opposed to maybe just the one undisputed and a unification fight. So there's maybe that small little silver lining down in the future. But then the picture might change as well. It could be taking on Fury and Hrgović in an undisputed title picture. Who knows? A lot up in the air. But yeah, disappointing news on the whole.
Yeah, 100%. One of the most disappointing things. I mean, it's only early in the year, but yeah, it's a bit of a blow, isn't it? Because we were looking forward to this, and then hot on the heels of that would have been AJ and Ngannou and that great card on March the 8th, which thankfully, touch wood, I haven't got any wood near me. I haven't got wood. Yeah, we hope that stays intact because we need it now more than ever. I don't know if the poll's quite gone up yet, but we are going to do it. We're going to do a quick 10-minute snap poll just to see whether most people feel Fury's cut is genuine or not. So yeah, please vote when it does come up. It's simple, yes or no, binary choice. But I could imagine how it's going to look looking at it now. But just going back to the chat, Mally LUFC Robinson says, I think AJ will get the nod and Ngannou to fight Wilder. Well, AJ to get the nod to fight Usyk again. Not sure anyone wants to see that yet. Carl Young says, F Fury, damn cowardly soul. Relaxed Human No, hold on. Imran S. Fury will never fight Usyk. Mark my words. All right, we'll mark those and we'll see what happens. UK, is it normal to be filming every spar or having such a hard sparring session 2 weeks before a fight? I don't think it's as uncommon as some people saying in the chat to have intense sparring 2 weeks away from a fight. As for filming it, I think a lot of boxers film, or a lot of boxers teams film their spars. But whether they film every single one, I know it seems convenient to a lot of people out there that this particular spar was filmed. And it's not, you know, it is grainy footage. But, you know, after stranger things have happened, it's not incredibly uncommon. The poll is live now. Do you think Fury's injury is genuine? Yes or no? No's taking an early lead, but you've still got 7 minutes before we say sayonara. I don't know why I went with Japanese. At 7 o'clock. But yeah, let us know what you think. SO Live is nothing without your contributions. And bear in mind, if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. And subscribe to Seconds Out if you're not already one of our valued subscribers. Lars says, show the cut, please. We've had it up a couple of times already, but I'm sure Modfather Frank, if he's listening, can put it back up. And you can see that. And also, if you want to see the video, I'll put that link in again. So that's No Smoke Boxing. You'll be able to see the video yourself, although we've also got it on screen at the moment, I believe. We were trying to get Radio Raheem on as well, but he's not on Wi-Fi at the moment. He's at the gym, which, you know, we've got to rate him for being at the gym, keeping strong and healthy for his Seconds Out work, no doubt. But if you want Radio Raheem's take, he may do something for us a bit later on tonight. And as I said earlier, I'm going to continue to pursue people connected with both Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk to get their reactions to this up on Seconds Out. Ayman's out in Vegas, of course, to cover Conor Benn against Peter Dobson on Saturday night. But he will also be speaking to people later on today at the weigh-in and so on. So I'm sure he'll get some reactions too from Eddie Hearn, I guess, who, you know, stuck up for Tyson Fury. Was it yesterday, Ayman, or the day before, saying that he thought it was a load of nonsense to talk about Fury struggling in training camp? I wonder what he's going to say now. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be quizzing him on that.
That's right. Yeah, it was a couple of days back. Sat down with him at the MGM Grand, talked a number of topics there. Ended up a little bit tense towards the end, but we lightened the mood and we spoke afterwards in an interview. But yeah, there was much rumored that Jai Patai's presence in the camp wasn't needed anymore. Whether that was voluntarily or it was imposed upon him to leave is another thing. But Jai Patai being a matchroom fighter, Eddie Hearn, I asked him, was that the case? Did he drop him? What's the situation there? And Eddie Hearn quite vehemently denied that it was the case. And it seemed believable that it was the case from Eddie's point of view, that that never happened there. It just was the case that he needed more sparring heading into his fight with Myris Breedis, the rematch, a very bruising affair, one that changed Jai Patai's face. He had to get jaw surgery for it. So you'd understand that Jai Patai would need to focus on his fight after helping Fury. I'm sure he'd take that sparring, raise his game from that sparring, and then go focus on to his fight. That might have been the plan, but people then blow that up into something else. So if Eddie Hearn's account is to be believed that it wasn't the case, then that's that on that end. But yeah, I'm sure Eddie's got quite a lot to say about this Fury versus Usyk fight. I don't think he'll be as maybe gloating as maybe he used to be in the past, now that there's more of a collaborative effort between Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, and there was interest obviously in for Eddie Hearn in that the winner of Fury Usyk, once the rematch had got done and so on and so forth, Joshua, if he would come through the fight with Francis Ngannou, would be fighting the winner of that fight. So you'd want to see that fight come ahead. And that probably means as well that Joshua going through the Ngannou fight, should he win, means he probably has to get another fight in there in between that as well then. So that also make a domino effect there once we know the status of Fury's injury as to what Asia has to do with his plans and who he has to fight in the meantime because of what's happened here today. So yeah, again, very much up in the air, very much something that we need more news and information on. I'm actually really keen to. There's been a blackout in terms of Fury and what he's been saying. Normally he's quite vocal sometimes in camps and pre-camps and things. I'm looking forward to that first video message from Fury, how long it'll be, how vocal he will be, and whether he'll show the cut again or not. and whether he'll speak on. I wonder what if the sparring partner will come out. Some sparring partners like to remember Dubois before Dubois burst on the scene. Dubois famously dropped anti-Joshua in sparring and was holding that as a bit of a trophy, wasn't he? I wonder if this sparring partner will come out and do interviews and talk about the rounds they had before and the immediate aftermath, and whether there was some blame put on him as well too, actually, for this, what looks like an elbow to me or not, or just in the sense of jeopardizing this fight as it has done now. I wonder if he has a lot of glaring eyes at him after the fact at this point. So yeah, very interesting situation.
Yeah, and still evolving. You know, we, as I said a couple of times, we're going to be, if you're just joining us, the fight between, or if you've been hiding under a rock somewhere, the fight between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, scheduled for 2 weeks' time, February the 17th in Riyadh, has been postponed after Fury, you'll see the footage on your screen at the moment, has apparently suffered a cut, a really bad cut above his right eye in sparring. Yeah, you'll see we've been debating whether it was caused by his sparring partner's fist or his elbow. But either way, he's been cut to an extent. Mike Coppinger reported 16 stitches needed. It's very unlikely that we'll see that fight in the spring. We're thinking probably early summer now, if indeed it is rescheduled, as Queensberry Promotions have promised it will be. Fury's put out a statement on his social media and apologised, pictures of the cut, video. So I think they're aware of the amount of scepticism out there, but they're doing all they can to disprove any conspiracy theories. But yeah, we're still trying to get hold of people in the Fury camp and also in the Usyk camp, Alex Krasuk, among others. And hopefully,
speaking of Krasuk, Danny, sorry to interrupt you. Under the comment, under the picture that Tyson Fury posted of his statement, of his few extra sentences, Krasuk has responded and said, "Wish you soonest recovery. God sent you a sign. Think of retirement, brother." Then a fist emoji.
Wow. So he didn't want to go live with us. he's put it on the socials.
Do people would Fury consider retirement, Danny? Do you think? I don't think so. I think it's ludicrous to think of retirement so close to. I know it's just been clawed away from him now, but surely he wouldn't consider retirement.
No, not with that payday or two paydays really on the line. You wouldn't think so. But I mean, it depends. If he feels his body's breaking down, or if the motivation's not there like it was, if he's sick of all the questioning, and you know, we've got a great example of that here, possibly, but I can't see it. I can't see him walking away when the real big money, the real huge money that he's wanted his whole career is now finally available for him. And, you know, he's got a lavish lifestyle, and I'm sure he'd be successful outside boxing, but this is where the big money is. You've got to make it while you're at or near your prime. And as an attraction, he certainly is. Whether he is as a fighter remains to be seen after the Ngannou performance, but as an attraction, he certainly is. And I think he'd be mad to walk away at this point. But I can understand why people are skeptical. I'm just going to get the poll results. Just bear with me. I just ended the poll. Right. So we've had a whopping number of votes. We asked, do you believe Tyson Fury's cut is legitimate? And that can mean a number of things, of course. You know, was it self-inflicted? Was it, you know, worse than we've been led to believe, etc.? Was it intentional, as the real conspiracy theorists among our audience seem to think? Is it legitimate? 60% of you said no, it's not. 39% said yes, it is. It's quite closer than I expected, given the general tenor, the general tone of the chat. Silver123 Stack on that note has just written the word joke 5 times in separate posts as well. So he's really made his point. David Salt, strange that Fury holds his sparring partner's head, does an uppercut under his chin, yet the sparring partner's head doesn't move. Maybe it wasn't a potent uppercut, you know. I think we're getting right into the weeds now, aren't we? Yeah, boxing and MMA talk. No way he'd throw 100 million away. People get carried away. Remember, it's only postponed. Yeah, well, the thing people are saying is it's only postponed for now. Until people see them facing each other in the ring, you know, ready to fight, I think people are going to be skeptical, and I understand why. But I do think it's genuine, just for my view. Owen says, can we talk about Tyson Fury's cut now? You've seen it. Funny how Johnny Nelson trolled Fury, then backed down after Sky Sports bought the fight. I think anyone on any broadcaster would do the same in that situation, surely. M the Bop, Fury getting spanked by Ngannou and now sparring partners. I mean, it was only one shot, but it was a pretty good shot. Right, I think we've come to the kind of natural conclusion of our live show, but please do stay tuned to Seconds Out, because we are planning to get a hold of some more people in and around this Fury situation as it develops. So stay tuned to us. We will have, I don't know if we'll have more lives later, but we'll certainly have some interviews coming up talking about this. This is what everyone's going to be talking about at the moment. So I want to thank you all for joining us, participating, the super chat, of course, voting in the poll. And Ayman, as is customary on SO Live, albeit this is a special edition, the closing remarks go to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think with all the literal visual evidence that we don't normally get, I'm quite surprised that people still believe that this maybe isn't truly as legitimate as it seems to be, or at least how I seem to glean it. That's fair enough, though. I respect and appreciate everyone's opinion there too. Maybe they have different levels of where they feel it might be legitimate or not, whether it's as bad as it was or whether it was inflicted or whatever it is. Either way, whatever the consequence is the fight isn't going to happen. Maybe some people are blighted slightly by as well, because Fury tends to say one thing and then the other, so they don't know where Fury stands on things sometimes. That Fury might not be the most believable of people because of some of those comments he makes. But yeah, the bottom line, as someone from Texas used to say, so I'm not sure so far how far away I am from Texas, but I'm an American nonetheless, is the fight isn't going ahead on February 17th. You're not going to see it on DAZN February 17th. You're not going to see it on Sky Sports February 17th. You're not seeing it on TNT either on February 17th. We're going to have to wait again a little bit longer for that undisputed heavyweight fight because of a cut sustained to Tyson Fury, one half of the equation in that undisputed fight against Oleksandr Usyk. We appreciate you jumping in on the chat. We appreciate the super chat as well too. Appreciate all the likes that everyone's hit the like button. Appreciate if you haven't already, subscribe. Appreciate the support as well. Got much more boxing content coming your way. Stay tuned 2 seconds out for that. We'll see you guys on the next one.